First, the Trump administration is making moves to cancel DEI programs and dismantle the Department of Education. Many say the moves threaten to erase history and educational opportunity for Black children. Well, there's a new book out. It's called The Battle for the Black Mind. It takes readers through the history and also offers a guide to resistance for Black Americans to fight back. Our Jessica Brown is here with the author, Dr. Karida Brown.
So great to see you and have you with us.
Oh, it's lovely to be here. Thank you, Jessica.
You know, we were just talking a little bit during the break about when you wrote this book, because it is really timely, and you told me it's been several years in the making.
So I started this book 7 years ago. It's taken an enormous amount of archival research to trace the lineage of the Black educational freedom struggle. This has been a story of resilience and power. So I spent quite a lot of time in philanthropic archives digging up the architects of this separate and unequal education system that Black Americans had to go through. And never did I think that the book would be published while the Department of Education is attempting to be actively dismantled.
It's interesting timing, because this is what we're all talking about right now, right? Let's talk about the history you just mentioned, right? When you talk about the history in this book, the battle for education has really been from the beginning.
Yes. So I want to paint a picture for you. After emancipation, there were no schools for Black or white children in the South. So we really see the proliferation and the idea of public schools being a universal right for citizens in this post-Civil War era. And it was mainly African Americans, newly freed citizens, who pushed for schools. Why? Because during slavery, enslaved Black people could not legally learn to read or write. So education has always been a part of Black freedom dreams.
When you talk about when you were writing this book, you dove deep into history, but also personal connection. Talk about that a little bit and how that influenced your writing of this book.
This book is deeply personal to me. My mother and father attended what were called the colored schools in their communities. They attended Jim Crow schools. What did that mean? A system that was separate and unequal by design, not just physically separate, but designed to deliver an inferior education. Now, that's not necessarily what happened in those Black schools, because they had excellent teachers who really cared about the students. But I think a lot about that. That's what led me to want to pursue this research. Because me, as an old millennial, I am the first amongst my generation of my family to be able to attend whatever school my ability allows. It wasn't dictated by my race. And I'm now a professor at an elite university with an estimated $12 billion endowment, right? And I think about how during my parents' lifetime, they would not have even been able to apply to the school where I now am a professor. So education really is that great equalizer for all Americans.
Absolutely. You know, we talk about education here, so HBCUs, right? Historically Black colleges and universities. Of course, they were established before the Civil Rights Act and created to serve African Americans. But, you know, you take a deep dive and you also kind of unearth truths that maybe a lot of people didn't realize, especially about that not all of these HBCUs were founded by Black educators.
Yes, in fact, most HBCUs were founded by white men. And their first presidents for a few terms were white men. So it's important to, I thought, to unearth some of the origin stories of our beloved HBCUs, because they are in fact institutions that are for us, by us, and about us. However, not all of them started that way. So I dig into the politics of curricula design that really set the aims for what these architects of Black education had in mind for Black people.
You know, when you were writing this this book and you were going through the history and you were uncovering so many things, what stood out to you or surprised you the most? Because I mean, you're reading some of this and folks will be surprised by some of the things that you've uncovered.
Two things.
Yeah.
Number one, I was surprised by how much time I would spend in the archives of New York City, in philanthropy offices, in the archives of the Carnegie Corporation and the Rockefeller Foundation, because these white-run philanthropies that were mainly a proxy for industry and big business had a vested interest in Black education in the South. And I wasn't aware of how entrenched that was. But secondly, and the joy that the shining jewel of the book is how resilient Black educators were during the Jim Crow era, not only in teaching Black kids and making sure they got what they needed, but building their own institutions that lasted for decades, that graduated thousands and generations of Black minds during that time.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, we mentioned it earlier about the efforts to dismantle the Department of Education that we're seeing right now. From your research, from writing this book, what do you make of the impacts, especially when it comes to Black students?
So I really want to make clear the playbook. What I illustrate in The Battle for the Black Mind is this playbook of how power plays the long game. Today, we might call that this coalition, that is Project 2025, that set the agenda for what we see with the Department of Education. Well, back then, a very similar playbook was used, and what was that? Number one, defund public education, and during that time, it was just Black education during Jim Crow. That produces mass chaos, and when that happens, folks are looking for an answer. They're looking for the cavalry to come, and that's when the billionaires come in and offer privatized education at a mass scale. And I ask all of you to just think about, how did that work out for your health care? How did that work out for our retirement plans when we move public goods, the right to retire with dignity, the right to health care, the right to education? Those things should not be privatized on a mass scale because it creates a system of haves and have-nots. That's what we're seeing today.
Wow. You know, for folks who are going to read this book, you know, you put strategies in there, you put a guide in there. What do you want people to take away most from this book? Small
acts fall big tree. What I show through stories about Black educators, mainly Black women educators who founded schools during this time, is that it's rarely the big act that brings the change that you want to see. It's the 1,001 little things that we do on a daily basis to make that change. So whatever you have in terms of your talents, your resources, your power, your privilege, put it into action, because democracy is something that we do every day.
Dr. Karida Brown, great to see you. Great to hear from you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Again, the book is called The Battle for the Black Mind. You can see it there. Of course, we're going to have much more on WCVB.com. Back